Hello, and welcome to Collin Aronson's Honors English 11 Word Project. Today, we will be talking about the suffix us. Us is defined as being full of, abounding in, having, or possessing the qualities of. Our first word is chivalrous. Chivalrous is an adjective that is defined as having the qualities of chivalry, as courage, courtesy, and loyalty. When reading tales of dragons and mystical lands, a reader might hear of chivalrous knights partaking in heroic deeds to rescue a damsel in distress. Also, it is considered a chivalrous act if a man, such as the one below, were to perform a courteous action, such as placing her coat on a puddle for some young lady to pass over, as chivalrous. Our next word in our suffix journey happens to be disastrous. Disastrous is an adjective which means causing great distress or injury, ruinous, very unfortunate, or calamitous. Disastrous events are commonly referred to as, disasters. It would be considered a disastrous event if you crashed your brand new car into a tree. Also, a surfer wiping out on the waves could also be considered a disaster. A disastrous event is definitely evident in the following clip. Delicious. Yes, I am sure we can all relate to this wonderful word. Delicious is a lip-smacking adjective that means highly pleasing to the senses, especially to taste or smell. Everyone would consider a slice of their favorite cake or pastry as a delicious and decadent treat. Of course, desserts aren't the only delicious foods at our disposal. We also have other foods, such as hot dogs or hamburgers. Aggravation and sheer irritation compose the word furious. Furious is a heated adjective, which means full of fury, violent passion, or rage, extremely angry, or enraged. This grumpy fellow on the right obviously fits the bill for the word furious. Not to mention this kid.
Why you keep making me go there? No! Don't take a picture of me!
Up next is fictitious. Fictitious is an adjective that means created, taken, or assumed for the sake of concealment, not genuine or false. Many storytellers have a vivid imagination and have no trouble at all in crafting their own fantastical and fictional stories. Young children also have a vivid imagination and tend to create fictitious lies to throw their parents astray. Next we have impervious. Impervious is an adjective that means not permitting penetration or passage, impenetrable. A sturdy wall made of the strongest materials would be classified as impervious. Smashing your head against an ever-resistant wall and thus receiving a major headache would also be another evident example of impervious. But anybody with any marbles in their brain would know not to do that, right? Let's What comes to mind when you hear the word harmonious? Flying angels? Harps playing in fluffy clouds? Well, harmonious is yet another adjective that is defined, marked by agreement in feeling, attitude, or action. Think of some scales. They can be balanced. What about some checkbooks? You could also balance those as well. Not that you would want to, of course. Also, think about the Chinese symbol, yin and yang. Even though that these two opposing forces are opposites, they must fall into balance in order to achieve total harmony. Strutting up to the plate next is famous. Famous is an adjective that means having a widespread reputation, usually of a favorable nature, renowned, celebrated. One might think of a well-known actor or actress as famous. Of course, the word famous is somewhat debatable in today's standards due to some of the mishaps today's celebrities have engaged in. Everyone loves a good laugh. Well, hilarious is our next word that means arousing great merriment, or extremely funny. I'm sure all of us have experienced some form of hilarity or another in our lifetime. It's pretty obvious that this kid did.
Plong.
Monstrous. Monstrous is an adjective that means frightful or hideous, especially in appearance, or extremely ugly. Monstrous can be used to describe a highly unsightly person or thing. Take, for example, this handsome fellow on the right here. His gruesome, grim, and zombified eyes make for a very monstrous effect. Here's another perfect example of a monstrous appearance. Contagious. Capable of being transmitted by bodily contact with an infected person or object. Anyone with a sneezy illness or cold can surely relate to this contaminated adjective. Sometimes we can't help but just sneeze, sometimes even surprising those around us. Take a look. Last but not least, we have come to stupendous. Stupendous is an excellent adjective that means causing amazement, astounding, or marvelous. We can safely assume that a diligent student would call an A+ on an exam a stupendous event. Also, imagine taking a trip to the Grand Canyon and witnessing the vast expanse before you. You would call that a stupendous sight as well. Some people, even animals, can be struck by a wave of stupendous amazement. Just look at this little guy. Well, thanks for joining us for our journey through the suffix us. Until next time.